everyone, this is Sarah, the Catholic Homemaker. Today I want to talk to you about how you can treat your eczema topically and internally as well, but mostly tips on topical ways of treating it. So first of all, if you are new to my channel, welcome and please consider subscribing to my channel so that we can grow this community. Also hit the thumbs up button if you like this video and hit the notification bell for all notifications so you'll know when I post, which is every Monday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be reading from my notes because there's lots of different things that I have heard that can work, and I will first go through some of the things that I have been doing that have been working for me. First of all, I have been dealing with eczema my entire life, or at least mostly that I am aware of. I remember growing up with eczema on the back and the front of my knees and on the back and the inside of my elbows. And those are the spots I remember having it. I don't think I had it in any other spots in my childhood. And eventually they started to go away and I just had it on the back of my elbows as an adult. And then it started to travel to my hands. I just had like a tiny little spot on this ring finger, and I didn't even know what it was. I didn't know it was eczema at the time. I didn't find out until maybe 2-3 years ago that it was actually potentially eczema that I was dealing with. And I don't have it on my elbows anymore. I only have it on my hands, and it's mostly on my right hand, on my fingertips. And initially it was actually on the back of my hand, and it was on the back of my fingertips, and it was very painful, especially when water would be getting on it and or soap. Those things can be very irritating for eczema. I remember it would be irritating for my elbows when I would be taking a shower too. So I'm sure any of you who are watching this who've had eczema, you can understand that it's like a daily struggle. Especially being a mom, it was a struggle because I use my hands a lot as a mom, especially changing diapers and just other things like that. And so it has been a struggle. It's been painful, but thankfully I've been trying to get it under control ever since Christmas. So just for the past few weeks, really, I was just kind of leaving it all up to homeopathy for the past few years, ever since I've been getting chronic classical care from my homeopath. But it was getting to the point where some people in my family are physical therapists and occupational therapists, and we were talking at Christmas, and they were both saying that you really need to be seeing somebody about this. They were thinking that I actually needed to see a physical therapist or an occupational therapist because I wasn't able to like move my hands. I think I could only go like this far without like helping my hand physically with my other hand. But now, from what I've been doing, I can ball my hand right into a fist and it doesn't even hurt. And I can bend my fingers back without hurting. One of the things the physical therapist said to do was to, make sure you can bend your finger on all your knuckles. And I was able to do it, but it was painful. And I had to use the help of my other finger to do the middle fingers, some of them, because I just had kind of stopped bending my hands so much because it was painful from my skin cracking and the eczema opening, which was really bad because I was kind of losing function of my hands. And so they weren't like 100% hopeful with me just because they thought like I had done some damage to my hand by doing that. And then like they thought this may not be so much eczema. It might be from a burn that I got 2.5 years ago from having my hands over a steaming pot of water and getting just a bad burn from that. I think it exacerbated my eczema, or the two kind of exacerbated each other. I'm not quite sure, but I am going to go see a dermatologist to be certain, but I'm not really convinced it's a burn at all anymore because I was able to significantly improve my hands, as I said, because I think it was the ligaments that had been very weak. I remember the PT was saying that. And now, you know, I'm able to straighten my hand like in a normal position instead of having it like bent like this or just kind of stuck in a certain position because it's painful. But it does feel normal. I don't have any pain anymore, which is really great, except for maybe from sometimes my skin cracking. But anyway, let's get into what I have been doing. So I was asking online what people have been doing. Is there any hope for my hands? And I got a lot of responses. And one of the things I started to do immediately from the advice was to apply apple cider vinegar. And I actually applied it undiluted to my fingers. And surprisingly, it wasn't painful at all to do so. So I just, you know, take a bottle of apple cider vinegar, just put a little bit on a paper towel and just rub it all over my fingers. And I do that for like maybe up to 30 seconds or so, just to make sure that like every inch of my skin is covered. And then I do a honey mask on my hands. So I just put a little bit of honey onto my hand and just like rub it all over my hands. And I just let it sit on my hands for a couple minutes until I kind of feel like it's not really doing anything anymore. I think it takes like maybe 2 to 3 minutes where it kind of dries and I'm like, okay. And then I just rinse it off, and my hands, just from doing that alone, have made my hands feel so much softer because they were just like so dry and cracked, and my hands don't really have that problem anymore because I know like from them being so dry and cracked, they would actually like stick onto cloth or things. It was very annoying because especially because I'd say like, you know, handling my children's clothes, changing their diapers, like especially when I was doing the cloth diapers more, folding the laundry, just anything like that. It was so annoying because it would stick to my hands all the time. And now I don't have that problem anymore. Another change, it was just a little change that made a huge difference, was making sure that I'm wearing rubber gloves when I'm doing any sort of cleaning. So I wash the dishes at least 3 times a day because we have 3 meals. And I also, you know, clean around the house. And I wasn't using gloves for any of those things. And so I decided to invest again in some rubber gloves just at Walmart. And they're actually pretty good quality ones. They're not leaking because I used to use them in the past, but they started to leak. So I just needed to buy some new ones. And I do not wash the dishes at all. Like the only time I'm putting water onto my hands and stuff is either when I'm in the shower or when I'm washing my hands for whatever reason, after going to the bathroom, just whatever reason. But I'm not doing excessive hand washing. I never do hand sanitizer. I know that it kills the microfauna in your hands, so I had not been doing that for years anyway. Soap and water is the most effective way, and don't use antibacterial soap, just use regular soap. And we actually use natural cleaners in our house. We use 7th Generation and Branch Basics mostly. That's pretty much the only cleaners we have in our house. And then sometimes I use also vinegar and baking soda. So those are very natural things. But I found out that there's an ingredient in 7th Generation soap and even like the hand washing soap that can be irritating. And it is methylisothiazolinone. I'm sorry, that is a hard word to pronounce. Maybe you guys can see it on the camera here. Okay, so yeah, just be aware of that. It's okay to use this soap, but if you're going to be using it to clean things, then use rubber gloves. If not, find a better dish soap. And it's kind of funny, I just said it, Better Life dish soap is one that somebody recommended, and I don't know exactly where to buy it. I will try to link it below. But yeah, if you just want a soap that's not going to be irritating at all, And we have the 7th generation soap as our hand soap. So I actually have like one of those foaming pump dispensers, and I had poured Castile soap into it and filled up the rest with water. So that is not going to be irritating to my hands. And then I also use a bar soap in another bathroom where I don't have that foaming dispenser. So I'm just very aware of what I am putting on my hands. All right. Another thing that I did, I haven't done it in a while, but it was recommended that I dilute oregano essential oil with coconut oil and rub it on my hands, and that can clear up the eczema pretty well. So they said like a 50-50. So I did like a drop or two of oregano essential oil, and then I probably did more than 50-50 dilution as far as the coconut oil, because I used more than just like a drop or so because it was solid, and I just used, I'm always very cautious when using essential oils. I don't want to use them neat on my skin, so I definitely want to do more dilution. But that seemed to give me some relief, and I probably should do that again. But yeah, just all those little small changes like that actually made a huge difference. And then also applying lotion more frequently. I used tallow balm on my skin, which was really one of the few things that would make it feel relief at all. And now that I'm doing all these things, and then also in addition putting tallow balm on my skin, it has made my skin a lot better. And then also I was doing those finger exercises that the PT recommended, just stretching each finger back like that for 30 seconds each, and then just kind of making sure I could bend everything. And the problem that I did within the first few days of doing that is I was trying to do it all in one day, and that actually made these like 3 center fingers swell, and the middle finger was the one that swelled the most. I actually thought that my fingernail was going to pop off because it was so swollen. And let me tell you, the thing that helped bring down the swelling and also took away the pain, because I was having some pretty bad pain after doing the exercises because my hands and my fingers on the side were not used to moving like that anymore. And so the ligaments were pretty weak, and I think they're okay. They're pretty much back to normal now. But the thing that helped me, got it from the pantry, it's Ching Wan Hung. And I had never heard of it before, but it has a bunch of Chinese herbs in it. Dong Quai or Angelica root, mastic resin, myrrh, Leo gum resin, quince fruit, safflower flower, sanguisorba root, sesame oil, and yellow wax. So it's actually pretty good ingredients. I would definitely check with your doctor if you're pregnant and nursing to see if that's safe to use, even if it's just externally. Oh, their active ingredient is menthol, and it's an external analgesic. But let me tell you, I was in a lot of pain. My hand was in a lot of pain. And as soon as I got this in the mail, I just decided to try it out, put it on my hands, and a lot of people, I saw the reviews online, they were complaining about the smell. It doesn't bother me, but it does have a strange smell to it. I think it's like the sesame oil and something else, but I didn't mind it at all because pretty quickly, within like 30 minutes or so, my pain was going away. It started to go away. And so it says to apply it like maybe 2 to 3 times a day or as needed. Or try not to apply more than 3 times a day, but like as needed, lower than that. And after a couple of days, I didn't need to apply it anymore. So I only had to use it those first like 2 to 3 days. And then I didn't have to use it anymore. It brought down the swelling and the pain immediately and very quickly, and it didn't bring it back. So it's not just something that you apply and you have to continue to apply and apply. It actually brings down the inflammation, which is really amazing. So I think this thing is a really great thing to have in your medicine cabinet. Okay, let's get to the other things that people recommended that I haven't necessarily tried. So, first of all, with the actual diagnosis, some people said it could actually be an infection. So go to a couple different dermatologists to get opinions and tell them you don't necessarily think that it's eczema. I can also say to them that it could possibly be from a burn as well. So I'll mention that. And some people recommend shea butter, apricot oil, have a blood test and test my vitamin D, iodine, B12, and iron. I'm actually planning on that very soon because our health share that we belong to covers a physical or wellness exam every year along with the lab. So all of those, I believe, are covered. Another person recommended Gladskin. They said it helped, but it didn't clear it up. Red light therapy was another recommendation. I don't know how I would do that, honestly, because we don't have a sauna or anything like that, or a red light therapy sauna. However, I do go outside almost every single day with my children, and we go in the midday sun for usually at least an hour or more. So even in the winter, we've been doing that year round ever since we moved into our house in June, and it's been wonderful. Also, somebody recommended lavender oil, castor oil with gloves on overnight. Haven't tried that, but I should probably try the gloves and moisturizing my hands overnight, or maybe during the daytime if I have time. Another person recommended Dmso aloe vera solution. So you mix 50-50, a 99% solution of Dmso with aloe vera juice, and you apply it to your scar tissue. Don't use anything synthetic with it because it'll pick up and transport everything it contacts into your skin or bloodstream. And make sure your hands have been washed with soap, just plain soap and water, and don't have any cream or fragrance on them, and allow to dry. And another person said that it might be Kawasaki virus. It causes foot and mouth. Another person recommended celery juice. Another person recommended removing lectins from my diet, which I really don't have very many lectins in my diet. Just because I'm trying to think of the foods that may have it. I'm pretty sure that some, if not all, nuts and seeds do. I avoid seed oils unless I'm going out to eat. And I don't really eat a whole lot of nuts or seeds at all. I pretty much don't buy them because they're kind of expensive. And I also do not really eat lentils or beans very frequently. It's just something that I have to remember to soak, and I'm not a huge fan of it. I like it here and there, but it's not something that I like all the time. So honestly, I don't think I have very many lectins in my diet anyway. Another person recommended a strict carnivore diet. I've heard a lot of people have had a lot of success with treating their health problems going on a carnivore diet, but I've also heard warning that you really shouldn't do that long term, along with really any diet long term, but even that one, even though it's been very healing and healthy for people, because I think it can lower your lifespan. I think that was ultimately what the warning was. And another person recommended yarrow/palm blend of essential oils, and that is from doTERRA. I don't really like to recommend MLM products, but I wonder if there is a product that is the same from another company, just with a different name. Another person recommended exfoliating with used coffee grounds weekly and apply raw shea butter and calendula cream. Then, put gloves on so your hands can absorb it. And then another person was talking about Renee Quinton. I believe she's some sort of health practitioner. I haven't looked her up, but they said that she has had great results with skin conditions using seawater therapy. And I know the seawater can be very healing for people. I've definitely heard that. Lastly, another person recommended emu and bear oil. And this person had very traumatic burns from a really bad accident and had healed their skin greatly with both of these things. I'm not sure where I could get bear oil, but possibly through a hunter. I just don't really know people. And I used to take emu oil internally. It just got to be expensive for our budget, so I cut it out, but I'm sure that it would be very healing to your skin, especially if you have the budget for it. Anyway, I hope you found this video to be helpful. I didn't want it to run this long, but I wanted it to be a comprehensive video so that it might help anybody who's struggling with eczema or your children who might be struggling with it. Eczema is so hard to treat. Ultimately, if you're treating it internally, I would recommend homeopathy. So anyway, until next time, may God bless you and your family.